Drop the
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of I Can Do This All Day. I'm Dan, the Part-Time Avenger, and that is Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Hello there. Today we are taking a stand, and maybe it might be the last time we watch one of these movies with this person as this character. But today we opened our Netflix accounts and watched Venom: The Last Dance.
The last dance and the last chance we're ever going to be able to see Tom Hardy as Venom, because I don't think he's coming back unless
That's what they said about
up.
Iron Man.
Yeah, but he is not Robert Downey Jr. or part of a popular Marvel series. So that's the difference.
Or are you saying that by the quality of this movie, he will not be asked back?
I think he'd be asked back. I just don't know if the Sony verse rights will work out for that. I honestly don't know. Like it's so diluted, but we'll talk about that in a second. But
is he going to be in Doomsday? Everybody else is going to be in Doomsday.
I don't know, man.
Tom Hardy going to show up in Doomsday?
I think Tom Hardy's done. I think he's pretty much done with Venom. But that
did Shia
remains to be
LaBeouf
seen.
not tell him not to do franchise movies when they did a movie together? Is that what it is? He wasn't like, dude, don't do it.
That's why he knocked him out on that one movie, right?
Don't tell Tom Hardy what to do. Tom Hardy will punch you in your little face, both.
No, Shia fucking knocked him out.
What movie?
Lawless or whatever it was called, where they're bootleggers, like moonshining bootleggers.
Oh yeah, no, that was the movie that they did together for sure.
Yeah, well, no, that was the movie that they got into an argument and he knocked him out. So Shia LaBeouf could fucking handle himself, but now Tom Hardy's been doing jujitsu, so I'm sure he could strangle him to death.
Rear naked choke him. Shia LaBeouf supposedly coming back to Transformers. That could be a whole nother thing, but
yeah. So let's scrap this entire intro that we did, but we're gonna go into
leave it in, leave it all in, baby.
We're going to go on to the actual movie that we're talking about, and it's Venom: The Last Dance. Venom, part of the now defunct Sony Spider-Man universe. What's your origin story with Venom the character and then Venom the movie series?
So Venom the character I learned about on the Spider-Man like TV cartoon.
Oh, cartoon first, not comics.
Maybe cartoon first. Yeah. Watched the Fox Kids show, eventually read the comics, had Maximum Carnage for the SNES, which was a amazing beat 'em up game. Red cartridge. Yes.
Fantastic game. I loved. I didn't have it, but I rented the Genesis version multiple times because it was
dope
such a fun
soundtrack.
game.
I would argue that the soundtrack to Maximum Carnage is better than the soundtrack to this movie.
Yeah, because anytime you have Adam Levine and Maroon 5 in a soundtrack, it's usually pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I thought you would not like it because of that. But back to my origin story of Venom. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And, then we got to see Topher Grace do it. And anybody would be better than him. And
if you know what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, the worst. The worst.
But then I watched the first one of this. I had to try to watch it like 3 or 4 times because I kept falling asleep. Like, it was not good. It was not good. And I abstained from the second one because in my head, Woody Harrelson playing Carnage sounded great. And I didn't want to sully my eyes with it. I just wanted the mental picture to be very good, guessing that the TV picture would be what all of them were. And then you asked me if we would do this one, and I'm like, sure, we'll Last Dance it. I watched The Last Dance on Netflix a bunch, but that was the Bulls documentary, not this. But what about you? How far back do you go with the symbiote with the blackness?
When I first started collecting comics, I would trade some comics with some of my friends, and Spider-Man wasn't part of my catalog. It was Captain America, X-Men, and those were like the 2 main books that I had. A little bit of X-Force as well. And I started trading some comics with my buddy, who was a big Spider-Man fan, and he got me into Spider-Man. So I started collecting Spider-Man comics, and that's when the Maximum Carnage series came out. And I knew of Venom. I didn't know a whole lot about him. I just knew that he was like badass and like a really good villain for Spider-Man. And then Maximum Carnage came out. I really liked the character and got a chance to understand, at least at that particular time and point, his character and his attributes and, you know, the little rivalry with Carnage. When we got to the movies, I didn't watch the Spider-Man cartoon all that much. I caught like a few episodes with the X-Men in there, but wasn't a religious Spider-Man cartoon watcher. I watched the old Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends more than I did the 92 cartoon. But when the Sony movies came out, I was thinking like, oh, Tom Hardy, badass. Love him as an actor. He can do no wrong. Venom, this is going to be good. I was thinking Bane as Venom, this is going to be awesome. He's going to be so fucking off the rails, and he's going to be like that really, really great anti-hero. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, this isn't the Venom I know. And granted, there's certain iterations after the fact that, and I wasn't really invested in the Venom character post 90s. So it was kind of a letdown for me for the trailer. I watched it, I think it was during COVID when I watched it on streaming, and same as you. I think I fell asleep a couple times through it. So I watched it at least 3 or 4 different viewings to make sure that I got everything. And I just wasn't interested. That wasn't my Venom. That wasn't my Eddie Brock. The fact that there was no Spider-Man involved whatsoever, it was very hollow to me. But I still like Venom as a character. I think they've done really cool stuff with the Venom symbiote in comics now, with Venom bonding to Flash Thompson, and he became Agent Venom. And but yeah, that's what my origin for Venom was, and I was really looking forward to the Sony movies. And this is, you know, pre shitty Sony movies, so I was thinking like this is gonna be good. But yeah, Venom was complete ass in the movies. So didn't like the first one. Second one I thought was somewhat better because I just was like, oh, this is the direction they're going with it. As much comedy as there was in the second one, I don't like that in my Venom character. I like the duality is really cool, but it's not Venom to me. It's buddy cop, which I love, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, when you blend that with a character that I have certain expectations for, just not the same.
I gotta
But
ask you a really, I gotta ask
yeah,
you a
yeah,
really personal question. More annoying voice, Bane or Venom the Head?
Venom for sure.
Is so bad.
Not a fan of it.
Just,
Not a fan.
just annoying.
It's not like after I got out of my own way of like, okay, well, this is their iteration of Venom. Okay, let's check out for an hour and a
Eh,
half to an hour 45, and let's just
uh,
have fun with it. And that's how I got through it. So by the time it came around to like the second movie and then the third movie, I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, this is what they're doing. So I wasn't as sour about it, but yeah, not a huge fan of the voice overall, but it's looking in hindsight, like, well, what else are you gonna do? Are you gonna
yeah.
try and pull like a Christian Bale and just be like, "Arr, we need to kill all these people"? Like, no, that's not gonna work either. So,
Who did the
um,
voice?
Tom Hardy,
Oh god.
which it's not a bad voice. Like, if that's a character, like a cartoon character, like, okay, that's an interesting take.
You know who's
But
never going
it's
to be asked to do an animated Disney movie? Tom Hardy.
you think Disney is your ally. Before you watch this movie, did you have any expectations?
Until you asked me to watch this, it was going to be a skip for me. I saw the trailer and the horse seemed pretty cool. I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're going to do with that. And talk about it, just a bullshit throwaway in the movie. Like, oh wow,
I mean, yeah, that's it was a cool thing that happened in the movie, but that
yeah,
was it. There was
that was
nothing
nothing.
else.
No, I mean, I feel like that describes the entirety of the movie. Oh, a cool thing happened, but nothing else.
Yeah,
I feel like
a lot happened in this movie.
did they like not have a lot of budget in this movie? Because
I
or did
mean,
Tom Hardy just refuse to get in a suit? Or I don't even know. They got to CGI that. Did Tom Hardy have like a contract in his contract, like his face has to be seen? for so much of this movie because I feel like they did a lot of talking head more than anything. Like not even like suit. And they eventually put a plot point in place where there was a reason, but
Wait, there's a reason? What was the reason?
when he fully suited up, he had like the tracker that the evil things could see.
Oh, that reason. You're
Yeah.
talking, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like some type of practical reason as to
No,
why they were
no
doing that. I was like, oh,
practical reason. That's why I bring it up. I was watching it in the first 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, show me Venom. Oh, but he's not even like doing the half face thing. He's just like, look at the talking head, Venom. I'm
yeah.
Venom, the weird pink goo from Ghostbusters.
I know we had a plan going into this. Let's just jump right in and let's just start pointing out the things that really stood out to us. And I'm using that term very gently and politely because I don't want to just have this be like a 30-minute, 40-minute crap fest on the movie. There
I
are some positive things, but at the same time, there's a lot of shit in this movie.
agree that there are things in this movie that just stuck out to me. There's one thing that I was surprised that I felt about this movie, and I'm usually all about campy jokes. Like, I love campy jokes in a movie. Within the first 20 minutes, I was like, they need to stop. It's like I'm normally the guy that kills it. Like I beat it to death. Oh my God. It got so bad in the beginning. Like it wasn't like buddy cop movie level. It was like Laurel and Hardy level, but not good.
I had no problem with the
Oh,
buddy cop stuff with Eddie and Venom because and maybe you're falling into what I fell into for the first Venom. Did you think that this was the Venom from your childhood?
I don't know. I didn't really think about it, but
Okay,
I
that means
think
it wasn't. That means it
yeah,
wasn't like the same character that you thought
yeah,
of because
yeah,
it definitely wasn't from what I remembered.
yeah.
It was Venom was menacing when I was reading those
Right?
comic books, and even in the cartoons that I watched, Venom was menacing,
Menacing.
not like some comedic pussy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
Mhm.
and there's parts in like the first movie where he's kind of like a loser. He's like the loser symbiote. If I don't know if you remember that, he tells Eddie that like, yeah, I'm kind of he doesn't say this, but he's like, yeah, I'm a big fucking loser. I'm a bitch from my planet. And but I'm pretty awesome here. You know, like I don't remember any of that happening in the comics or the cartoons.
No.
So it's just different. So I think let's get on the same page of that. I think that's the reason why you didn't like the campiness of Venom and Eddie because it's not your Venom. And that's that I empathize with you on that. That I totally understand. For what we were trying to do while watching this movie and how I was trying to digest this was literally just I'm gonna check out and like I had high expectations for the first Venom. After that, zero expectations. I was expecting jokes from Venom and Tom Hardy kind of being, you know, Eddie Brock, more reserved and feeling bad and reluctant to embrace the symbiote. So that's just what I kind of went into everything with.
I wanted it to be a movie, a good
But
movie.
there was some cool stuff like that horse. I thought there should have been more of that. I found that interesting. So Venom and Eddie are like the good guys. There is a bad guy. Can you tell me who the bad guy is in this movie?
I think it's Andy Circus. The
So
no,
Null.
no,
Null. So the okay. All right. I would agree with you on paper that that's accurate, right? So Null, and I'm probably getting this wrong, but he's like the king of the symbiotes, right? Like he is the end all, like the symbiote god, if you will.
he was the god of darkness and creator of the symbionts.
Okay. So if so facto, he's your god. But in order for you to be the bad guy or the villain or the antagonist, you need to have some type of confrontation with the hero, right?
Not if you're Thanos in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah, it's true. Well, maybe Canal wasn't supposed to be the baddie. You so I don't want to invalidate your line of questioning, but that you make the assumption that this movie had like a plot arc.
Well, it
There wasn't an
does.
Arc. It was like
It's well, it's
it
not
was
an
like a
arc.
train. It's
It's
like
the
a Johnny
last.
Cash song. It just powered straight through. It was just I hear the train a coming. It's not rolling down any bends because it's a straight line.
I think there's a movie arc for Eddie and Venom, and this third movie is literally just the third act. So it's in. If you were to watch this by itself, you're right. There is no arc. This just happens to be the completion of the three film arc. What I and it's not a great one. I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying it's not a great arc in the three movies. There really isn't an arc in this particular movie, but there should be some type of antagonist. And so here's where my issue is with Null. Justice League. Who is the bad guy in Justice League?
Which version?
Whatever.
Because Snyder cut it was Darkseid. Regular one, it was the other guy.
Who is the other guy?
I don't even know his name.
It's funny that because now I can't remember his name, but yeah. So anyway, either way, in Snyder's Justice League, Darkseid is attempting to go through the portal to go to Earth. Correct? Am I
Steppenwolf.
remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
He almost gets there, but he doesn't. So at least the heroes know, like, oh, there's a big bad that we should be concerned about. Venom knows who Null is, but at the same time, there's no threat of Null coming unless the little predator things get them, right? So it's those little
Yeah.
alien symbiote predator T-1000 amalgamations.
Yeah.
Those are the villains and the antagonists for Eddie and the
Are
other
they?
symbiotes. And so Null is sitting down a majority of the movie. You hardly see his fucking face. And he doesn't even, does he even get up? I don't even think there's any
In the
physical
after
movement.
credit scene, I think he gets up.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter because the Sony Spider-Verse is dead anyways, so it's
He's
not
dead,
going
dead,
anywhere.
never again.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, they're done. They're done. They stopped it. So,
Are they
um,
giving away the Spider-Man rights?
I don't know what the deal is with the Spider-Man rights. I have no
Mm,
idea. I know the something happened with like there is some reverting of things going back to Marvel, but I don't know about the movie rights for Spider-Man. I know
mm.
they still have the rights on the offshoot characters. So that's why I'm wondering. Like, I don't know if Venom will pop in anywhere. At least a Tom Hardy Venom, because there is a little drop of Venom symbiote in the MCU based off of the No Way Home end credit scene,
Yeah,
right?
with Danny Rojas.
Yeah.
Rojas.
Yeah. I figured you'd like him. I didn't remember him being in No Way Home, but
Uh,
I actually now that I think about it, I don't think I had seen Ted Lasso at that point. So that's probably
uh,
why I didn't realize who he was.
yeah, I
But
was the happiest thing about this film for me was the multiple Ted Lasso people and the guy from The Replacements.
who's that?
Um Reese Iffens or whatever.
The lizard.
Yeah, the
So
lizard.
there's multiple times. So okay, we're going all over the place, but I think this movie is all over the place. So you
Yeah,
got Reese Ifans as whoever the fucking hippie dad,
dude.
who was hilarious.
Oh
I
my
actually
God.
thought I liked him as a character, but he's got ties, previous Spider-Man ties as the Lizard. You
Yeah.
got uh, you got multiple Ted Lasso people in there, but also here's the weird thing: you've got Mordo from Doctor
Yeah.
Strange as
You've
this
got a sorcerer.
rando. Yeah,
That's where
as
my
this
wife
fucking
was like,
rando military guy.
my wife was like, where do I know him? I'm like, oh, he's a sorcerer in Doctor Strange. I'm like,
But not
oh,
here, not
yeah.
in this universe.
Uh-uh.
Apparently, the variants just look way different.
I'm gonna say that family sing along in the car, it's the best family sing along we've seen in a movie since Step Brothers. And I don't know which one I like better. They're
I
so
would.
close.
So Step Brothers was a good one. That was just funny. That was flat out funny. I would say the sing along from We're the Millers was pretty good. I think that beats
Mm,
this movie's. So you got Will Poulter singing TLC Waterfalls, right? They did that.
yeah.
And, so- I don't know where to start or continue talking about this movie because it's just all over the fucking place. To go back to Null, I just think he's like a bullshit character that pays off or that does not pay off because he doesn't even get up out of a chair throughout the entire movie. He sits there, absolutely no threat, no physical personal threat to the symbiotes or Venom and Eddie. It's just all his little minions. But there, in order for that to be a complete and fulfilled villain, he needs to at least have a like a portal conversation with them. Because otherwise, like Eddie has no idea why he should be so concerned about these people. Besides, like they're trying to kill him,
Yeah.
but he has no idea about Null. Like it
Not
doesn't
at all.
click. He
And
just
and
hears the name, but other than that, it's just like okay, so I don't want to die.
yeah,
Okay, God, dying is bad. Let's continue on with the movie. Like
yeah.
that's his
No, I mean,
extent of knowledge.
it's a realistic motivation, but
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
there's a reason that this film is a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, a
that's high.
40% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that the featured user review on IMDb is titled "Turn Your Brains Off One Last Time."
Agreed. I 100% agree with that. So I actually applaud them. Whoever came up with that, I applaud you. You can be a guest on our podcast any day. But yeah, that's what you have to do is you have to turn your brain off for this movie. So the villain is shit. Are we in agreement with that?
There really isn't a villain. I think you made that point.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it does not make sense.
Okay.
Wookiees don't live on Endor.
The symbiotes, going into the other symbiotes. Okay. Face value, I think it's really cool to have all the other symbiotes.
It would be really cool if I knew what any of them were.
There's a little bit of a nod to the comic books, but that's it. It doesn't go any further than that.
Yeah. Like,
Most of them die, anyways,
yeah.
and so like
Dude, the way that they die is so dope.
I felt like they died very easily. When you're getting shot by bullets and stuff, like I feel like that would also be a legitimate threat, but symbiotes have no problem with bullets.
Dude, who knew all you need to take out a symbiote was a food processor?
Yeah, yeah.
That was it.
I just
It's
get a
over.
chainsaw, lawnmower, whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
and that's your best bet. By face value, the symbiotes were cool, but it doesn't pay off. You get some like cool team ups, and those were really cool effects for everything. Like the two like Siamese symbiotes was awesome. That was really cool, where
Mhm.
they bond to separate people and then they just come together. I thought that was sweet. But if you are a fan of the comics and those symbiotes that I don't know all the names of, uh, I would be pretty pissed because I was like, oh man, they're definitely gonna have these characters in here, and you see them for a little bit. Most of the time they're in like a little vial, but that's it. Like you get to see the quick third act of the third act action sequence, and they die pretty quick.
They had so much potential for that to be some kind of amazing scene, and it was just kind of crap.
When you take a look at the symbiote versus symbiote, they did it in the first Venom. They did it again in the second. So yeah, I guess you can't do symbiote versus symbiote all three movies. So you have to have something else. And then I don't know if these creatures are accurate to the source material, but if Null sends his little like badass T-1000 alien predator symbiote dogs, I just don't see how they're beatable. It's an unbeatable villain. They just come back together.
The movie made me sleepy. It was so bad.
But
I
talking
don't
about
know.
it's making you sleepy
Yeah,
too.
it really like. I wish there was something I was really excited about from this, other than the sing along in the car. The microcosm for this film. If we used a scene in this film to dictate how this film made you feel, It was like getting your feet pissed on in Vegas.
Some people like it. I don't know,
I
man.
mean, some people pay good money for that.
Yeah.
Not me. And Sony paid good money for this. And
The title, Venom: The Last Dance. Do you expect one of them to die?
you mean like on the poster where it says, till death do they part?
Yeah.
No, I didn't expect one of them to die. I didn't even, Dan, you have this great feeling that I thought about this movie before I saw it. I did not. Luckily, I thought it was going to be, as I'm watching it, I thought it would be longer than it was. And thankfully, it was not. I cannot believe
Th-
this movie made $478.8 million gross worldwide.
Still fairly successful franchise, which is crazy. I guess if you are going to root for the Sony Spider-Verse, this would be the only character that you would root for because Madam Web sucked, Morbius sucked royally,
Oh,
and I don't know. I haven't seen Craven yet, but
oh,
Craven's going
that'll
to be
be on
coming
our
to streaming
list.
soon.
Yeah, we'll have to dig into hey, we have a maybe we'll do that one when we were talking about April. Maybe in April y'all can come back and hear about Craven the Huntress.
The Last Dance title I thought was super puzzling because, like, yeah, okay, are you just trying to play off of Michael Jordan and the Bulls right now? That's the reason why you named this movie the way that you did. And then I realized that there's a legitimate Last Dance
Yeah,
in the
I
movie
was
with
gonna
Miss
ask.
Chen.
Hmm.
I thought that was fucking bananas.
Had they
I
danced before?
I don't know, man. I
Okay,
don't
I was just
fucking
making
know.
sure. I was making sure because I'm like last dance, first dance, and
I
how is she
I
like bring on the big guy? Like,
she
what is
is
she doing with
aware.
him on the side? And where's Mr. Chen?
She is aware of Venom because they have interactions in the other movies.
Yeah.
So she knows that Eddie and Venom are together. And I think she like gives him like candy bars and shit sometimes too. But randomly, Eddie and Venom just happen to see Miss Chen. And hello stereotypes, Asians in Vegas. It's so ridiculous. Is that what they just plan to do? Is like, okay, we need to get some other people from the other movies in here. What's Michelle Williams doing? Oh yeah, she is not interested. She's totally done with this. Like shit. Okay, can we bring back someone else? Like what about Woody Harrelson? Is he really dead? Like yeah, we killed him off in the other one. Shit. All right. What's Miss Chen up to? Like that. Okay, yeah, let's writers, can you draft up a
Where do
version of the script where they do something right now? Like
where do people that own bodegas go? To Vegas in super shiny red dresses, obviously.
I'm fine with her drip in
Eh,
Vegas. I like her as a character. I think she's funny. But once again, you have to shut off your brain and think of this movie or this series as sitcom television. There's no consequences. There's really no real big moral to the story. It's just sheer entertainment for the hour and
yeah.
a half to hour 45 for each of the movies.
I did enjoy the fact that there was a swingers reference in this movie when he was walking into the casino talking about he's so money he doesn't even know it.
Oh,
We're so money. I don't know how he does the voice, but it was
that was
that.
pretty accurate. It was good.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Just make a doofy face and talk. And where he's a complete gambling addict, like immediately. Well, I want to win the money. It was really funny to me. I like the thing that did make sense is if that's such an exclusive casino, why is the bodega lady there? And what casino in Vegas doesn't let you in if you have $1? I've been to pretty much every casino up and down the strip. None of them have a dress code. All of them would let the Eddie Brock in shorts and flip flops walk in and gamble. I gamble that way in shorts and flip flops, and nobody would have said a damn thing.
But you have to get them dressed up, right? Like, have to have that last dance because thank God, writer and director Kelly Marcel, she's the one who wrote the other two movies, and she steps in to do the directing on Venom: The Last Dance. And this isn't shade against her. I think it serves an entertaining purpose. It's just not my Venom. I've said it before with Captain America, Hulk. It's not my Venom. I feel like they were trying to do something with this movie, and because it didn't quite pan out, they just had to switch gears really quick, and just everything else is just sheer entertainment. It's going to be idiotic lunacy, but it'll be entertaining, and people will pay money to see this because we're just coming off of the Oscar season and awards season. All those great, fantastic movies that have this great moral story or sad ending or whatever it is. There's never a movie that wins those awards that is just like complete entertainment. Like so this is just it doesn't fall into that awards category. If anything, it's going to win some awards from us, maybe the Razzies as well. I
I want
want
to.
to give this a fair shot and talk about some of the good stuff. So, like Miss Chen, entertaining, very sitcom-y, and I like her interaction with Venom. Do I think it's believable? Fuck no. Even though I know we live in a world, or we're watching a movie where there's a world of heroes and weird shit that happens, I don't think the convenience store owner is really going to be that thrilled to see Venom in Vegas.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I want to take a moment though. You brought up a name that we need to focus on, and that's Kelly Marcel. Her directorial debut is this because you're right. She wrote the previous three, or the previous two Venom movies, but she also has written stuff for Disney, like Saving Mr. Banks and Cruella. She wrote the screenplay for 50 Shades of Grey. Like, she's written stuff that I liked. And then she
You
wrote.
like 50 Shades of Grey?
No, I liked Saving Mr. Banks. I thought it was
We'll
very good.
rewind that back for the viewers. Like, yeah, he totally said 50 Shades of Grey and said like she's written stuff that I've liked. So
Yeah.
you're a
No.
damn liar, and I caught you, Mark.
A great piece of trivia about this director. She started her career in musical theater with the UK version of Debbie Does Dallas the musical.
Oh,
And if
fantastic.
that's all you told me about this director and I saw this movie, I'd be like, sounds right. Sounds accurate.
I don't think the writing is bad in this movie. I just don't think it lines up with my comic book expectations. Because I'm
See,
not looking at this movie and sitting through them thinking like, oh God, these lines are cringe. Some of the Venom stuff, yes, but I also expect that to be because it's so off the wall, not what I was expecting. Like, okay, well, yeah, they need to have some comedic relief somewhere. And Venom, not only is he the dangerous force and kind of, loose cannon, but
mhm.
he's also funny. Yeah, funny
And
alien.
I'm okay with funny. And like I said, the beginning had a lot of campy jokes. Like there was a lot of that. But the part that really got to me is towards the end, they're at Area 51 for like 45 minutes of this movie. They're in Area 51 longer than they were in Jurassic Park. And the movie was called Jurassic Park. I just was like, shouldn't they keep, like, isn't there the next place they should go? Shouldn't the portals that this guy's opening to send the vacuum bugs there, shouldn't they work the other way? And like the portals could suck in all of the symbiotes, and then they could have a battle there with the seated man.
I like that. But wouldn't you, if you're sending the portals are opening up, right? Okay, so here's the plot version as to what, like, hey, time to start poking holes and have fun with this. Null is trapped where he's at, correct? And that's the reason why he's going after the Codex.
He's like buckled into his seat. Yes, he
Yeah.
is restrained.
So he's opening up these portals for other things to go through. Why doesn't he just open up a portal for himself to go through?
Like right under his butt. Like, woohoo, I'm here, baby.
Even if he's teleported in his chair,
I mean,
why wouldn't he just go closer to them?
maybe it was the sorcerer. They looked very similar. Maybe he was in disguise.
Oh man, it just didn't make sense. All right, you're sending these people. It would make sense if like you're gonna do my dirty work. Like no, he's trapped in that little area and he can't get out. but I can send my minions to you. Did you not think this through? It was laughable for me, and that's one of the things that Marthaed me for sure. All right, you're sending these deadly creatures after all these symbiotes, and you want to get out of there, but you can send them out of there, no problem. That's a red flag for me, and just not the best writing. Maybe there's some issues with like reshoots and test audience reception and feedback, but it totally Marthaed me. Why can't we get Null out of there? Because he can send everyone else anywhere else he wants.
You know what Marthaed me? The fact that they're like, we're shutting down Area 51, but there's two giant water towers of hydrochloric acid still there, and a gigantic government facility still underground. But it's cool. People can come by. What?
I don't have a problem with that. There's no problem with that. With what you just said, there's no problem with that. It's the when people can come by is the issue. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of people trying to go to Area 51, like even though they're like a mile out, they get stopped. Like Humvees and Jeeps come out of nowhere to stop these people and tell them to turn the fuck around. And yet, Volkswagen van hippie family gets in no problem. No problem. No guards, no surveillance, nothing. They could walk right in and just start climbing ladders and getting on top of buildings and shit. Like it's unreal to me. And as much as I like the family and everything, it's not that also Marthaed me. But yeah, I can sort of see where you're coming from on that. But the whole Area 51 thing it was basically just a ruse anyways, because all the important shit was, I don't know what they call it, was like Area 57 or whatever it was, and it's just like underground.
What?
Like that I can understand because
Yeah.
like okay, Area 51's like even though it's technically Area 51, it's just underneath. I hear you.
That's where it was like, this is, and again, like they needed to develop the plot there, but there was no real plot development. It was just like, look at the things are in a thing and there's thinging, and now we should shut it down. And that one lady, like Christmas, immediately bonded with Venom without anybody knowing. And then
That caught me by surprise. I was like, okay, when did that fucking happen? Because did we even see it happen?
no,
Okay. She just had the vial of it, right? That's all that. So it was
like
just
that
like
little bitty vial of it, not even like the full vial. Like, did they catch him in a full vial? I don't even remember.
I don't recall.
It was so bleh.
The movie was so action packed with fun and energy. I didn't realize what happened. So
Oh man. Wow, the hypocrisy and lies are strong on this show.
oh man. Well, let's talk about some stuff that we did enjoy with the movie. So I liked the family, but I also liked Tom Hardy's acting and his struggle with Venom trying to bond with him. I legitimately think like here he is, and he's starting to. This movie surprised me because there was a few things where I felt bad for Eddie. He fucked up his relationship with his girlfriend. He's like walking, he's observing this family, and he's like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna have any kids because I got this fucking symbiote attached to me. He's kind of sad about his life, and Eddie Brock, very much like the comics, like he views himself as a loser. What has he done with his life? He got blackballed in New York, went out to San Francisco, caused some shit out there, and now he's transported to another world, and now he's on the run from someone he has no idea why he should be running from them, other than the fact that they're going to kill him. You know, like that's the only thing that would be like, all right, well, that doesn't make sense, but or not the only thing I should say, but Tom Hardy can act his ass off, and I feel like he did a very good job in this movie. Even though the movie itself is kind of ridiculous, you still get those serious acting tones from him, and the that goodbye with Venom. I would say that it was a good story, and it was a good arc for those two characters. You know, they what you thought was going to be like. Okay, I mean, they're stuck with each other, even though, like you had said earlier, like even though it says the last dance, even though it says till death do his part, like are they really going to die, or is like Eddie? I thought the whole thing was like, okay, Eddie's going to die, and then we're just gonna bring him back to life, and that's like because if you die, if one of you dies, that's when the codex disappears or whatever. And I thought they were just gonna do some CPR on Eddie Brock, like he dies, and then whether it's Keeley from Ted Lasso that does
Hmm.
CPR on him or something else happens, and magically threat is abandoned, everything is good, the codex is gone because one of them died, but Eddie comes back to life, and him and Venom are drinking like martinis together in some random bar by the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It was and then the ending was just lame.
I don't even remember what the ending was.
He went to the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah, I thought that was okay. I think
I
there was
had
a nice
no
send off.
I feel like it would have been a nice send off if I had an emotional attachment to their attachment and I wasn't annoyed by it.
Yeah. Well, you didn't watch the other movie, so that's the
Neither
reason
did
why.
you.
No, I watched all of them.
I mean, in between looking at the back of your eyelids.
No, I watched the Carnage one in theaters. I didn't like the first one all that much, but I saw it, and so I thought it is kind of silly to where he's like remembering stuff from this movie. And I understand as to why they're doing it, but it's not like an end game montage of like all these characters that were in. It was just like here's some shit that happened with Venom and Eddie, and I don't even remember a whole lot from the first movie, and I don't need to, but I thought that was about as emotionally impactful as it could have been executed. So I will give them a little bit of applause on that. But you
Yeah.
just didn't care
Yeah, I
because
did not. Not
yeah.
even a little bit.
You know what, Mark? Let's just jump right into it then. I got a question to
Oh,
ask you.
oh, we're gonna get there. Look at us.
When it comes to Venom: The Last Dance, can you do this all day?
I thought long and hard about this for 15 seconds after the movie ended, and my answer is no, no, no three
Will you
times.
ever watch the second one?
This may have been my last dance with Venom. Maybe maybe the title was telling me something in that you may not come back from this, bro.
Fair enough.
So I might watch the second one if like it's the only viable movie on a 14-hour flight across the Atlantic Ocean. And it's the only option. But I'd probably rewatch something before I'd watch it. Um, yeah. So that's me, but you're a good person. You enjoy comic book movies. Uh, and Venom's worked with the Avengers at some time. They're part-time Avengers. So I got to ask you, can you dance the last dance all day?
This is the best Venom movie out of the three. It was the most emotionally impactful movie of the three. I would say it probably had the best, maybe not the best action, but very solid, serviceable action.
Serviceable. That's always good to say.
And and the CGI I thought was great. I didn't see any flaws in the CGI whatsoever. So I thought that was perfectly executed. Um, and the fact that I just checked out and was there to enjoy it, I laughed. My wife was like, "This movie fucking sucks." I was like, "I kind of like it." Now, to be fully transparent, I was under the influence while I was watching this movie, and I'm not saying that that's the reason why I enjoyed it more, but I'm
Uh-huh.
sure that's the reason why the highs were high and the lows were low because I'm an equal opportunity skeptic on things, so I will cheer for something, but I will shit on it if I feel like it's shit. So, when you put all that stuff together, the fact that this is the best of the three, and a lot of the a lot of the things are very entertaining in this movie. There's a lot of shit that marthed me. Null, I don't know much about Null, but I know he's like this big fucking badass in the comics, and we saw nothing of that. Nothing about him being a badass or why we should even be remotely concerned. Yeah, there's that throwaway line, and I will say throwaway line was like, yeah, well, he's a dark, like, he just wants everything to be dark. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So he's like a vampire. So fucking what? You know, like that's not a problem. That's not like they were trying to build this up to be a Thanos level villain. And I believe in the comics he is. He's like a dude that you don't want to fuck with. But I just didn't get that from this. So we are watching a movie where the villain is shit. There's really no motivation for Eddie other than to stay alive, which is pretty basic. That's basic survival 101. Like just stay alive. And that when you put all that stuff together, it's kind of a no-brainer that I cannot do this all day. You know, it's just as good as the good points were, the bad points, inconsistencies, along with just the unfulfilled feeling that I had after watching all of the movies. It was just like, yeah, okay. See you, Sony. I'm going
Yeah.
back to Disney and the MCU.
Good night and good luck.
Yeah. So, I don't think this surprises anyone. I don't think, but what is surprising is the fact that these all three movies made money. I don't understand that.
I don't either. I got nothing.
I'm going to say something shocking right now. I might actually prefer the third Venom to some of the recent Marvel movies. I think it's more entertaining. It's more entertaining.
It's better than Eternals and
I wouldn't even say
Shang-Chi.
it's better than Brave New World. I don't know, man. I
It's
shouldn't
not
say
better
better.
than Brave New World.
I shouldn't say better, but I did say it's more entertaining. I think that was definitely more entertaining than Brave New World.
I
If
disagree.
you're looking for popcorn and just chuckle fucking a bunch of shit in your mouth while you're watching a movie, like, well, there you go. All right, this Venom, the Last Dance. That's the one you want to put on.
All right.
Or if you're under the influence, put that on as opposed to Brave New World. Either way, both of those movies aren't going to make a whole lot of sense, but at least you'll probably laugh a little bit more in The Last Dance.
Touche. Touche. Unless you see the brain guy and think that it's hilarious, because I did.
No, that's a lot of people are just kind of puzzled. Like, who the fuck is that? And why does he
What?
look so weird? Why does his head look like a nutsack? But hey,
What
that's
boy?
neither here nor there because we're not talking about the MCU in this episode. We were talking about Venom, The Last Dance. But that wraps it up for us. Until next time, I'm Dan the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark the Resident Jedi.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, save, download, and hit us up on all the socials at I Can Do This All Day Podcast everywhere that you tweet and judge on the internet. Come tweet at us and judge us because, Dan really loves getting in heated conversations with all the fans. But
And because it's we're past 3 years of this fantastic podcast, I'm gonna say it again. Like, we're not at I Can Do This All Day podcast at all the socials, but you can figure it out. So follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and you'll see this on the end of the episode anyway. So yeah, we'll see y'all next time, but we will hopefully not be reviewing any other Sony Spider-Verse movies with the exception of Kraven the Hunter. But we'll see you next time, everyone.
I don't know how much we're craving it, but we could hunt it down.
Last joke. I have an idea for the sequel for Kraven, and it's titled Kraven Moorhead. See you, everyone.